matter where you are in the world, if you're Australian and things go wrong, there's always one place you can turn. The Embassy. Tonight on the show, the boys from Bendigo are out to break all the rules.
So we thought we'd go to the bar and test out the bucket theory.
We were told, do not go on the jet skis.
But now they have to face the music.
To be honest, we're terrified with what might happen now.
It's hurting me. It's okay, dear.
Amorous Angie has all the right moves.
Oh, what's going on there?
It's not so common throughout Asia to be so affectionate.
Oh, wow.
Especially in somewhere like an embassy.
But what does she really want?
An Australian resident stabbed a guard to death.
And there's Aussie blood on the streets of Phuket.
Whoever murdering the other person shall be punished with death.
What I find unusual is what's somebody doing walking around with a knife?
Phuket, Asia's tourist honeypot.
Paradise for Aussies, families, single people. There's so much to do. There's bars, there's beaches, there's everything you could dream of.
Heaven on earth for Benny and Reese.
Yes.
The 20-something BFFs are on their first ever holiday out of Australia and having the time of their lives.
Every night, fireworks, buckets.
Pretty much doing everything their mum warned them not to do.
It's Benny with a lady boy. Yeah, he didn't know it was a lady boy. We were told, do not go on the jet skis. They look so much fun. We went straight on them. Dad, this one's especially for you. This is for your birthday this time.
Yeah, we got told not to drink buckets. So we thought we'd go to the bar and test out the bucket theory.
The bucket theory goes like this. Drink too many and disaster will follow.
5 buckets, he was in hospital.
Got in the ambulance. Spent 6 hours in hospital on a drip. There's a bucket theory because they've got ethanol in them. Back home we don't drink ethanol in our drinks.
But it was when they decided to hire scooters that things really fell apart.
Everyone here rides scooters. You can get as drunk as you want and ride a scooter home if you're a local. So when Reese got pulled over and he'd had a few drinks, he crashed. He knew nothing about it. He paid the car.
I was sober.
I was sober.
I was sober when I crashed.
After a big night of partying, Reese slammed his scooter into a parked car. Reese agreed to pay for the damages to the car on the spot and they let him go. But they confiscated the damaged scooter. When the boys rocked up to the cop station the next morning to retrieve it, they discovered they were in serious trouble.
And we went straight upstairs. And they're like, all right, so you were drunk? And I was like, no. He's like, all right, we're going to charge you and you're going to go to jail for 2 months. And I was just like, whoa.
With Reese facing prison, wingman Benny rings the embassy for help and gets through to Trudy.
What's happening? Tell me what's going on.
They pretty much said 8 weeks jail for what had happened.
I can see people like Reese and Benny coming from a mile away. These are boys who were so infatuated with the idea of a holiday in Thailand. They had dreams of doing all this fun stuff, and now it's turned really bad.
To be honest, we're terrified with what might happen now.
When cultures collide, fear and uncertainty is inevitable. In Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, Aussie mum Regan has come into the consulate desperate for help.
So this is for Venice.
Regan and the boys' passports are about to expire, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So the passports are running out.
Okay.
We all have to get new passports to get our visas renewed because if we can't get our visas renewed, we're going to have to go home.
We means 3. Husband Seth's passport is fine, and so is his visa. A family bust-up is a very real prospect if Regan and the kids aren't allowed to stay, and that would be disastrous. For the past 5 years, Regan and her family have been living the dream, running a mango farm and enjoying the Vietnamese way of life.
I love the food, I love the landscape. I love that it's a really good place to bring up my children. My children love living here. If you ask them where they want to be, they say they want to live in Vietnam. We all love it here.
There's a lot at stake here, emotionally and financially.
It's mango season, they've got to get a lot of things done. You know, this is the opportunity for them in the year to make the cashola, to live for the rest of the year. This is just a big hassle.
And it comes with a big sting. If they do have to go back home, they may not be allowed back in.
Look, what we'll do is we'll let Canberra know that this is an important case, that you need to get your passports issued as soon as possible, so you've got enough time to get your visas, because the last thing that we want is that you all have to go home and get split up.
Yeah.
The visa laws have recently changed in Vietnam. Regan's all tangled up in red tape.
There's been a whole lot of changes. They're affecting a lot of foreigners who are living in Vietnam, and Regan and the family are just, you know, one of the foreigners that have fallen into the unluckiness of the changes of visas.
Regan and the kids are facing a very uncertain future. In Phuket, the boys from Bendigo have struck it lucky.
I'm Trudy.
How you going, Ben?
Trudy's in town for the weekend and has agreed to meet up with Reese and Benny at their resort.
We don't see a lot of drink driving cases with foreigners, so this is a case that the police are going to take seriously, and there's jail time associated. Benny and Reese are looking at a big problem.
Trudy cuts straight to the chase.
How did they know that you were drunk?
They don't.
Okay.
He left.
Okay. So how have you got a drink driving charge?
The witness statements. Yeah. That's all I can go off.
I'm a bit concerned about them trying to tell you you've got a drink driving charge.
The boys have been told to report back to the police station tomorrow.
So where's your passport now?
Locked in the room.
Okay. Best thing to do, go down there, but I'll hold the passport.
They'll also have to pay compensation for the damaged scooter. But wingman Benny is confused about who pays who and who gets what.
We're paying out the police. That's what.
Oh, no, you won't have to pay out the police.
Oh, won't have?
You just pay the bike person?
I'm trying to get these boys to realise how serious their situation is. I don't want them to keep making light of the situation and having fun. I want them to sleep, and I want them to really think about their situation. I want them to take it seriously.
We'll meet you here maybe 10 to 9.
Yep.
That's 15 hours away. More than enough time for the boys to retest the bucket theory.
Kangaroo bar.
Is disaster inevitable?
2 buckets.
Coming up, an Aussie killing in Phuket.
What I find unusual is what somebody doing walking around with a knife.
Was it murder or self-defence? And bride-to-be Angie just won't stop smooching.
She seems very aggressive.
Oh, wow. We love each other. I love Darren.
I love you.
Yeah. And we want to be together.
Will it be third time lucky for Darren?
Yeah.
In Vietnam, Aussie mum Regan is back at the consulate, more stressed out than ever. This time, she's brought her husband along.
Nice to see you.
Too.
Hey, I'm Richard. How are you? Seth, nice to meet you.
Just as Richard
Okay,
feared, the residency rules have been overhauled.
Uh-huh.
As harsh as it may sound, it's buyer beware when it comes to foreign visas.
Our whole situation changed. We couldn't get residency visas anymore,
Uh-huh.
which we always have been able to,
Sure.
but the laws have changed here.
So the situation here is that Dad has a long-staying visa in Vietnam and can keep the business going, but Regan and the kids are under a different visa.
I've got to go tomorrow to Kuala Lumpur and try and get a 3 months tourist visa on the way back.
They have to leave the country, get the visas renewed and come back in.
It's crisis after family crisis.
Okay, so I've got your new passports here. They've come up. So what we just need to do is get your old passports. We're going to cut those up so you can take...
Richard has their new passports, but because Regan and the boys now have to leave the country and they don't have valid visas because their old passports were cancelled, they may not even be permitted to leave. It's a bureaucratic nightmare.
They've got new passports now, but one of the laws in Vietnam is that you actually need a visa in a valid passport. The problem there is that their current visa is in their old passport. We do encounter issues when people try and leave the country with a passport that's cancelled that has the visa in it. Depends on the immigration officer, they actually might not let you out of the country. Just be aware that they might turn you back and...
Yeah. Thanks for letting us know.
Okay, all right, so...
If they do get turned back, that'll trigger automatic deportation and blacklisting, ending any chance Regan and the boys have of returning to live in Vietnam. The lifestyle, the mango farm, the Vietnamese dream could all go out the window.
Worst case scenario is that your name goes on a list of do not allow to enter the country. The family has every potential of being split up in this situation.
I'm a bit worried about tomorrow. There could be a possibility that we won't be able to get on our flight. And if we can't, then I don't know what we'll do because our visa runs out very shortly and you really need to leave tomorrow. So I guess if you guys see us again tomorrow, then you know it's all gone pear-shaped.
It's another velvet morning in Phuket. But at their luxury resort, Reese and Benny's room is a mess. And so is their holiday after Reese was busted for drink driving.
In all honesty, though, this could happen to anyone. Like everyone here goes out, you have a few drinks, and everyone rides their scooter home. Everyone here does it, but apparently it's illegal to drink ride. We didn't know that till we were in the police station. Until you're in the police station, you don't know that.
It's beer and pizza for breakfast for the boys.
Hello?
Trudy will provide consular assistance to the boys at the cop shop.
Cheers, thank you. Hey, we got this, Russ? We got this.
What they've got, no one wants. Party boy Reese is in serious trouble after crashing his scooter into a parked car during a big night out.
Hey, it's Trudy.
Trudy's got her work cut out if she's got any chance of keeping Reese out of the slammer.
It is literally 7:30 a.m. and they are drunk. So, not giving me much to work with here. So, we'll go to the police station, we'll talk to them. But when you go in, you won't be able to wear your hats and you probably take your shoes off because you can't wear open-toed shoes.
Yep.
It's either...
You can be barefoot or no shoes.
You can be barefoot or have the proper shoes. And don't get too close to anyone so they can smell how drunk you are. These boys don't look like they're vulnerable. They look very confident. But they don't understand how bad this could be.
Oh yeah, it's still a little bit nerve-wracking at the moment going to the police station still, but I think it's going to be all good.
They're two young boys in a foreign country on their first overseas holiday and one of them is facing jail time. So I think they realise how serious it is, but they don't know how to act in the face of that seriousness. You can't wear your hat inside. You need to show respect to the police officers. Race. That's better. All right.
According to Thai custom, Reese needs to show remorse for the trouble he's caused.
Yesterday he came to me.
Sure.
But he denied.
Okay. What the officer is asking is if you confess to all of that stuff. If you admit that you hit the car, you paid the money, all that stuff.
Yes.
You confess?
Yes.
So that's the accident sorted. But Reese is adamant he's not guilty of drink driving.
Okay, but however, I have to send him to the court.
That crime carries a prison sentence.
In Thai law, stay in the jail 3 months.
So you understand you need to go to the court?
Yep.
And the maximum sentence for this is 3 months in jail? The boys are really scared right now. They're scared because the police officer has told them that they're probably going to go to jail. And they're scared because they haven't slept and they've been on a bender for days and days and days.
Reese must be wishing he was back in Bendigo right now. Ho Chi Minh Airport, Vietnam. Aussie mango farmers Regan and Seth are hoping to fly out to Malaysia with their 2 sons. Regan's Vietnamese residency is about to expire, and her only option is to leave the country and return as a tourist. It's a risky strategy, but all the family's hard work and dreams are riding on it.
If I can't get my visas and I do get deported and they don't let me back into the country, it would mean the end of us having the mango farm. I don't know what we'd do. I don't know where we'd end up. I don't know what jobs we'd have. I've never actually had to think about this before, so I don't really know what I would do. I would be lost, I guess.
A family on the verge of collapse.
The problem for Regan and the family is that if you overstay the visa, you sort of get a bad name with the Vietnamese authorities. If your whole intention is to want to live in the country, that goes against you.
Now comes the scary bit. Regan's new Aussie passport doesn't have her current Vietnamese visa in it, and trying to leave the country without a valid visa could see her deported and blacklisted. Just as they feared, the airline official has spotted the problem.
Yeah, what we have is we already have visa on arrival approval.
Following the embassy's advice, husband Seth plays their last card, a letter from the Vietnamese immigration department. But will it be enough? It's 2 a.m. on Phuket's party strip. Here, a night out can turn deadly in a split second. In the local hospital, a shocking scene is unfolding. An alleged murderer and his victim side by side. The man in khaki covered in blood is Australian Sea Captain Mark Pendlebury. And he's just stabbed the man on the left, a Thai security guard, to death with this skull and flames knife. It's a chilling moment, a family grieving for their loved one, and a bloodied sea captain being taken into police custody to be charged with murder. Coming up,
Reese is upstairs getting his fingerprints taken.
the notorious Thai bucket strikes again. Will Reese wind up in jail?
I love you, baby. I know. You too.
And Darren has been bowled over by love.
It's hurting me. It's okay, Darren.
Will it be sweet dreams in Oz for the lovebirds? As a new day breaks in Bangkok, diplomat Kirsten Fletcher is straight onto the case of Captain Mark. News of the killing is splashed across the local newspapers.
An Australian resident stabbed a guard to death after the guard asked him to stop taking photos outside a disco. So we've got to be, I guess, ahead of the game. It's a case that can really attract, a heavy sentence and a lot of media.
Kirsten and B need to get on top of the facts, and fast.
He's being detained at the Gratu police station since last night.
Captain Mark is an Aussie citizen, and a man is innocent until proven guilty.
But basically, I want to be able to push the button as soon as we can so that the information gets to Canberra.
Right.
And in cases like this, as soon as we hear word, we will phone through to our colleagues in Canberra just to let them know what's going on. Once we've got factual information in, that's where we'll start to work out how we're going to approach the case. You can't afford to put a foot wrong. There's a lot of pressure.
This is the first time, really, in 4 years that an Aussie guy went up and had a fight in the club and ended up stabbing a Thai person. He's dead. So, this is pretty serious.
59-year-old Captain Mark is an unlikely killer. He's been living in Phuket for over 10 years, running a successful business with wife Cha-Cha. He even heads the local Rotary Club. But suddenly, that respectable facade has been torn apart.
He was going to go out on a boat trip tomorrow with a mate who's just come out of hospital. He was going to take him out, make him feel better, and everything's gone pear-shaped.
If found guilty of murder, Captain Mark faces a grim future in this place, Phuket Prison. It's where they send killers.
Whoever murdering the other person shall be punished with death, imprisonment for life, or imprisonment from 15 years to 20 years.
What I find unusual is what's somebody doing walking around with a knife.
The alleged murder weapon rears its ugly head again. In Phuket, Bendigo boy Reese is getting ID'd.
Reese is upstairs getting his fingerprints taken. He's already been fined for hitting the car and for having no licence. So he's paid that fine, now he's going to go to court. But a court truck's already left with all the serious crimes, and Reese, I think, is going in a police car, so he'll be right.
famous last words. Trudy was right. Reese got let off with a 6,000 baht fine. That's 230 Aussie dollars.
Reese has to pay for the damages to the bike and to the car, but he doesn't get jail time, which is a really good outcome.
All he needs to do now is collect his passport, and it seems some of the embassy's cultural considerations have rubbed off. Hats off to Trudy. The officer returns Reese's precious ticket to freedom.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Hopefully we don't see you again.
Yep.
My message to Reese and Benny would be learn from this situation. Don't let this drama be in vain.
We've learned a lesson.
Pretty much when you're here, you follow Australian laws. Just abide by them and you'll be safe.
Too right, boys. It was a close call, but it's now case closed.
The boys have got some time left in Phuket, so I want them to see the nice touristy things, you know, the temples, the islands. Make some nice memories.
See you later.
Back at the embassy in Bangkok, Kirsten's tracking the case of Captain Mark, who's been arrested for stabbing a Thai security guard to death in Phuket.
B? He doesn't look like he's in a good way.
Captain Mark, respected member of the Phuket community, has been reduced to this.
Mark needs to get his injuries attended to. Whilst a poor Thai security guard is dead, Mark didn't come off scot-free either, and he's had a bit of a pummelling. Can you speak with the police station and see if he can get medical attention there? Can you get them to just check that he's okay and arrange?
B calls the police to check on Mark's welfare and finds out the latest news on his case. It's not looking good.
So the formal charge will be murder charge, which is, imprisoned to life.
Right.
Or imprisoned from 15 to 20 years. The police case officer also told me that he's going to be at the court, Phuket court tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Tomorrow morning.
I think we need to get down there as quickly as possible. Okay.
Thank God it's not the death penalty.
We know that it's a serious charge. But on top of that, we want to make sure that Mark has access to legal representation. We need to get consent to speak with his family and friends in Australia. There's nothing worse when a story's being plastered all over the news and that's where the parents or brothers, sisters, friends are hearing it from.
As Kirsten and B head to the airport, news of Captain Mark's arrest is sending shockwaves right across Thailand and Australia.
The story's been in the Sydney Morning Herald. Could steamroll from here, really.
Kirsten and B have just been sent the CCTV security footage from the crime scene. It's revelatory background information.
It is very hard to make out, though.
On the right, under the neon lights, a fight breaks out between two tourists and some locals. Captain Mark is across the road, just behind the red van. He's on his way home from a Rotary meeting. He crosses the road wearing a white shirt and khaki pants and starts taking photos of the brawl. A security guard in a white shirt moves him out of the way towards the red car. There is some pushing and shoving. More people start coming after him. Who knows why, but Captain Mark is carrying a knife. He's followed behind a parked car with its headlights on. And it's here that he fatally stabs the Thai bouncer. The question is this: was it murder or self-defense? Coming up.
Ask his ex to send it off.
Amorous Angie wants it all.
It'll take longer to get here than my time here.
Has Darren been blinded by love?
It's better than nothing, Darren, to me.
In Phuket, consular officers Kirsten and B arrive to visit alleged Aussie murderer Captain Mark. It's the day of his all-important bail hearing.
We don't know what happened, so I'm not going to assume that he actually killed the guy intentionally. And we're not there to judge him anyway. We're there to support him, regardless of what he did.
This is the Thai version of a mugshot. The accused man surrounded by local cops. The alleged murder weapon, the knife he was carrying, on the table. As they head to the courthouse, Bea and Kirsten find out Captain Mark has been released on bail.
What time is it? Oh, yeah.
5:15.
He's been released on bail. It's just great for him to be able to get home. He's got a business that he's got to look after, and it's a lot easier for him to sort things out outside of prison.
It's astonishing. Just 48 hours after his arrest for murder, Captain Mark has been allowed to go home.
Look, it's not a surprise. It's because, he's a foreigner, he killed a Thai man, but because he hired the President of Law Association of Phuket to be his lawyer. So there's a lot of good momentum there that the judge will look at. And because he's a long-term resident of Phuket, he's got a Thai wife, he got a business here. So and then when you take all that into the equation, it didn't come as a surprise.
Anyway, hopefully he's here and hasn't been moved somewhere else.
The bail fee for murder? 500,000 baht, or 20,000 Aussie dollars. But he's still up on a murder rap, and the embassy needs to report on his welfare.
Everything okay and...
I'm resting for the next few days.
Good idea.
But I want to acknowledge the support that I've got, a huge amount of support from the embassy, obviously.
We'll also act as, a conduit between here and Australia. So, if we need to get things back to your family and friends in Australia, we can do that for you too.
Thank you very much.
We did get a message from your sister who said that she loved you very much, or your family, are thinking of you.
Thank you very much.
Mark actually looks quite calm for somebody who has been through such an ordeal, and very calm for somebody who knows that they've been responsible for the death of someone.
Thank you very much.
Is it because he knows he's innocent, or is this the calm before the storm? Romantic, convenient, for sale. In Bangkok, love is whatever you want it to be.
It's hurting me. It's okay, Darren.
For Darren and Angie, it means heartbreak, unless they can find a way to be together forever.
I just wish there was more I could do for you.
And that's why they're here at the embassy, because they've found a way. It's called marriage. Big-hearted Darren is from country New South Wales, and he's fallen for unemployed Thai woman Angie. After a 3-month online relationship, they met in Bangkok just a week ago. One thing led to another, and Darren now wants to marry his Thai lovebird.
Hi there, how you going? Callum. Darren. Callum.
Callum takes the case. And then it's straight into the most tumultuous Thai love story you've ever heard.
She had a very explosive ex-partner. He conned her out of, how much, $1 million baht?
Yeah, $1 million baht.
$1 million baht.
Like...
Left her poor, left her broke. She had no way of supporting herself. It's okay. She didn't have any money to eat, so she borrowed 1,000 baht off some guy, and he pretty much wanted a favour in return. Angie said no. He told the people at the hostel, and she'd now been blacklisted from the hostel.
Yeah, I can't stay there.
I put her in another hostel, and pretty much similar things started to happen.
Yeah.
Male and female living in the same area, in the same bunk, showering together.
Yeah, I know.
And, the men looking over while the ladies are in there.
Yeah.
And I find that, I can't deal with that. I can't have that.
Love can blossom in Thailand pretty quickly, I guess, in an evening.
I had no intentions of getting married, but I can't see any other way to get Angie out of Thailand.
Could you live over here for the time being?
No, I've got no money.
So Darren's light on and his lovebird is broke. But Angie thinks she's found the answer. Immigrate to Australia.
What we can do, I think, is this marriage process is going. But if I have to fly and stay with him, I can go with a visiting visa. It takes about 21 days, and if we don't marry, I have to be stuck back here for the rest of my life. Pretty much.
It's not, it doesn't begin, marriage isn't the first step. The first step is relationship, so you have to start there.
Our role is to sign documents for people. Now, we're not there to judge why they need the document, but Callum's pretty perceptive. In this case, he's picked up what he thinks might be a bit of an imbalance of power. So it doesn't hurt to have a conversation and make sure everybody's happy with the document they're signing.
If you're looking at, getting married, we can assist in part of that process. But in terms of going to Australia, that's immigration that will look after that. Because you've been married previously?
No, she hasn't.
Oh, you weren't married? Oh, okay, just a partner. Have you been? Oh, you have, okay, right. How long ago was it since you?
My divorce was last year.
Forget immigration for a moment. Even the concept of marriage is a hot potato.
Well, I'm a bit worried because my family have pretty much said if I come back with a Thai bride, I'm going to be disowned. And I live in my family's home. And I've got no other money. If I say anything and people are starting to ask questions, I might find myself in a bit of difficulty myself.
Coming up.
Yes, I can see you.
Mark is trying to come to some sort of settlement arrangement with the victim's family.
You want to be friendly?
How do you put a price on a man's life?
They're asking for 5 million baht.
At the embassy, lovebirds Darren and Angie are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Take a step back and take a few deep breaths and look at what you can do for now.
They want to get married and live together in Australia. But Angie is a Thai citizen.
We came here and we're sticking to our plans.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
They're really trying to rush this through and she's pushing so much.
If you want something hard enough, you'll find a way.
If it was a little bit more natural and if it was mutual, but she seems very aggressive.
We love each other. I love Darren.
I love you.
Yeah, and we want to be together.
So they're going to get hitched.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, hold back, think it through. Go back to Australia and think about it.
Despite Callum's words of warning, the lovebirds push on and hit their first major roadblock.
Can I see your divorce certificate?
Yeah, I don't have that at the moment.
So I can't witness your signature.
The D word. Darren has been married before. Not once, but twice.
Okay.
Will it be third time lucky?
I'll talk to New South Wales Birth, Deaths and Marriages and they might be able to send the email through.
Time will tell.
Yep, no worries.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, thank you for that.
First, he needs to prove he's as free as a bird. But with Angie on his side, wedding bells seem more likely than not. They'll be back tomorrow. In Phuket, Aussie Captain Mark is out on bail and at home, waiting to be tried for murder. He was arrested by Thai police for stabbing a nightclub security guard to death with this knife. At the embassy, Kirsten's been keeping tabs on the case.
Mark speaking.
Hi, Mark. It's Kirsten from the embassy. How are you?
Oh, fine, thanks, Kirsten. Still a bit sore on the ribs, but I'm okay other than that, thanks. I've got a meeting with the lawyers on Thursday. We've got to settle with the family, and that means giving the family a lot of money. But they're asking for 5 million baht.
5 million baht. That's a lot.
Which is just ridiculous over the top.
That's 190,000 Aussie dollars in payment for the life he took.
I don't put a value on these things, but I have to pay something.
It seems strange to talk about just how much money a life is worth. But in some countries, that's how justice is done.
Mark is trying to come to some sort of settlement arrangement with the victim's family. It happens quite often in Thailand.
I've already sent her 100,000 baht for funeral costs, just so you know that I'm trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
At least the Thai way.
But it could mean that the courts will look more favourably on him.
With a murder rap hanging over him, Mark could soon be behind bars for life.
You want to be friendly?
At the embassy, lovebirds Darren and Angie are back.
I'll be in Australia in no time.
And all their kissing and canoodling is causing quite a stir.
Oh, what's going on there? Oh, wow.
Let's look at them. Oh, they're always kissing at each other.
It's not so common throughout Asia to be so affectionate in public, especially in somewhere like an embassy.
Darren has filled out his statutory declaration confirming he's not married and is free to marry.
Jump down over here.
Whatever his private concerns might be, Callum has agreed to certify Darren's divorce certificate, but he's got to get it first. He's on the phone to Australia trying to get hold of a copy.
Do we keep waiting or do we try to call again or under the number? Well, is it possible that you can just talk to his ex-wife?
No.
No?
We need documentary
Like,
proof.
ask his ex to send it off.
She won't.
How do you know? You haven't even
It'll
done
take
that.
longer to get here than my time here anyway.
It's better than nothing, Darren, to me.
I'm just thinking without that, there's nothing we can do here.
You just gotta take a deep breath and say, Angie's gonna be with me, all right?
Angie's big on motivation, but no divorce certificate, no marriage.
Have courage, be kind, okay? Don't worry.
Coming up, the shocking verdict on Captain Mark.
But it had been my habit for a very long time to carry a knife, for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, I was just hoping I was speaking to the right...
At the embassy, Angie's push-push canoodling has done the trick. Darren's on the phone to the Office of Births, Deaths and Marriages in Australia, trying to get hold of his divorce papers.
How do I get onto the internet here?
Come out to this computer if you like.
They've directed him to the internet. Twice divorced Darren's on the brink of proving he's free to marry his Thai lovebird. He just needs the embassy to witness his divorce records on a secure government website.
So Darren logs into the website, we see him go in, we see the original, and we know for sure that that's actually been finalised.
Callum's efforts have not gone unnoticed.
Callum, you did this. This is for the lovebirds.
Here you go, guys. It's good news. We'll be able to accept this as the certificate.
I love playing Cupid. I love making people happy. When they're not happy, they come to see us and we turn it around for them. I'm happy for them.
Just email that and I'll print it out.
Angie's even happier. A blushing bride-to-be. Divorce papers are through and authorised.
That's it. It's out of our hands.
For better or worse, nothing will stop them now.
I'm just so happy. Oh, God. So happy.
Of course you're happy. You got me.
Yeah, I got you. Finally. Yep.
Now for the news on Captain Mark. Justice has been served. Thai style. Captain Mark arrived at a private settlement with the family of the man he killed. The police did not submit the case to the public prosecutor, and so all murder charges have been dropped. As to why he was carrying a knife in the first place, this is what he had to say.
Those are things I don't want to talk about. I think it's better not to. But it had been my habit for a very long time to carry a knife, for a variety of reasons.
Angie got her wedding, but not her happy ever after. She's still in Bangkok, hoping for an Aussie spouse visa. Darren is living back with his mum and dad in country New South Wales. As for Regan and her boys,
Oh my God!
they were allowed back into the country.
Mangoes! Yeah, everybody, come and try some good Aussie mango grown in Vietnam.
The Vietnamese dream lives on.
Everyone take one home.
Thanks,
Next week on the Embassy, Alex came to train.
Here to get fit, lose weight, my fight.
But then he did something really crazy.
Lights for police, and they caught on.
You think the police are very silly, stupid? I don't think so.
How'd you manage that?
My beautiful girlfriend does washing.
The twin top loader from hell puts love on the rocks.
I don't think you'd be going through the airport with it.
And it's code red for Team Embassy
Chris, put your hand up.
as a deadly earthquake strikes.
Another one. Get out, get out. Get out, there's another one.
To know that your daughter has been through something like that would be pretty emotional.